Welcome to Weapon Blueprint, the weekly series where I, Guess and Based, take you through every weapon in TF2 and put them up for your pleasure. This time around, we're looking at the Scottish resistance for the Demoman. Now please note that all comparisons I make are based on the stats of the original sticky bomb launcher. It's currently 7th of July 2014, so it might have changed by now, as the sticky bomb launcher is undergoing some changes, so just make sure you're up to date with the latest stats before comparing the weapons for yourself. This video consists of 3 sections. The first section covers the history of the weapon, both in the real world as well as in the TF2 universe, and the appearance of the weapon, often related to the history of it. The second section talks about the stats and gameplay mechanics that the weapon provides. We'll be making comparisons with both stock weapons and some other unlocks, as well as in-depth analysis of the damage and timers that the weapon provides. The third section opens discussion about beneficial strategies using the weapon, featuring gameplay of the weapon itself. This section is open discussion, as I can only speak my own opinion, so feel free to express your opinion in the comment section below the video. The Scottish resistance is a secondary weapon for the Demoman, replacing the sticky bomb launcher. The name is a reference to the Scottish insurrection against the English rule after being invaded in the late 13th century. The model of the weapon is very similar to the normal sticky bomb launcher, except it has paint, a laser sight, and some leather straps attached to it. It was originally intended to have the sticky bombs looking like this, but Valve scrapped the idea and settled on this final design, probably because the two looked too similar. The weapon also comes with a custom taunt for the Demoman. The Scottish resistance is a much more defensive-oriented weapon, focusing heavily on setting traps for incoming enemies. It allows the player to quickly set up traps in various locations and detonate them manually. The raw stats for this weapon are plus 25% faster firing speed, plus 50% max secondary ammo on wearer, plus 6 max pipe bombs out, detonates sticky bombs near the crosshair and directly under your feet, able to destroy enemy sticky bombs, 0.8 seconds slower bomb arm time. Now here's a comparison between the arm time and the fire rate of the two guns. The 0.8 seconds longer arm time makes the Demoman unable to sticky spam, and thereby unable to quickly deny areas, and proves a much greater downside than it first looks. The player has to play much more strategic with this weapon, and predict where the next wave of enemies will arrive and set up traps there. It's very difficult to be aggressive with this weapon because the arm time makes it very difficult to take in ground. This should only be considered in defense positions such as red team, payload, attack defense, or when holding a last point in 5 CP. It can also be used to a lesser extent in King of the Hill and capture the flag once the middle is under control by the team. Playing in these formats makes the downsides of the weapon less impacting, and it's where the upsides shine. The player is able to quickly set up sticky traps and then wait for the enemy to arrive into the choke points and detonate. The demo will however be much more vulnerable to flanking players and during an Uber push, as he's very little means to defend himself. Therefore I advise to have a counter soldier stick around where the player is, so the player can focus on the traps. Oh, and there's also the fact that you can destroy enemy stickies, although it's an upside. I haven't had much use of that, ever, but I guess it's a nice feature. There's generally 2 ways of playing with this weapon. Either complete area denial or less area denial, but with more self-protection. If it's impossible to find someone to stick around and protect you, I would advise that you use the less area denial method. This means that your primary weapon will be the lock and load. This allows you to quickly dispose enemy flankers and bombs more effectively than with the grenade launcher, and you'll have better survivability. If this is not necessary and you have people around you to look after you, I think the grenade launcher is a better choice. It might not just be as useful as lock and load for protecting yourself, but it allows you to spam choke points, which the lock and load can't. You can set up a perimeter of stickies, then move forward to spam and bait enemies in your trap before retreating behind your stickies again. And remember, you have 14 stickies, so you can easily spare 2 of them to set up a trap behind you, should anything creep up on you, and you can fall back and lure them into the second trap. That's very useful, I find. Now, depending on the incoming sticky bomb launcher change, we might see some more use of this weapon. I would love that. I think it deserves your attention. Now let me know what you think of this weapon in the comment section below the video. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Weapon Inspection. Now, I would like your help to pick next week's weapon. All you have to do is click the weapon you would like to see in the next episode, and the one that gets the most votes will be featured in the next week's episode. That's all for now. If you want to be notified when a new episode is out, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Gasoline Based.